From KVUE News in Austin, you're watching Texas This Week with Ashley Goodo.
Thank you for watching Texas This Week. The Republican nominee for Texas comptroller just wrapped up his first week on the job. Don Huffines was appointed to serve in the role he's asking voters to elect him for. We talked with him and the Democrat he's facing in November, Austin State Senator Sarah Eckhardt. But first, let's get to the three things you need to know in Texas politics. Governor Greg Abbott is hitting the pause button on data centers. On Monday, he directed the Public Utility Commission and Electric Reliability Council of Texas to do a comprehensive audit of all data centers wanting to connect to the Texas grid. No deadline, though, on when that audit has to be done. The Texans running for U.S. Senate are finally talking policy. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton and State Representative James Tallarico laid out their first proposals to tackle affordability. In Houston, the Republican launched his Protecting the Texas Promise agenda, which includes tax deductions for first-time homebuyers, health care premiums, even gym memberships. In Arlington, the Democrat unveiled his new American dream. That includes raising the minimum wage, tax cuts for the middle class, and repealing cuts for the top 1%. After hours of heated public testimony, Tarrant County commissioners postponed a vote on a plan to slash the number of voting locations nearly in half for the midterm election. The plan would cut the number of election day polling places from 316 during the 2022 midterms to 176 this November. Opponents call it voter suppression in one of the state's bellwether counties. There is a new man in charge of the Lone Star State's money. Don Huffines was sworn in as Texas comptroller last Saturday. He defeated Governor Greg Abbott's pick for the role in the March primary and sees his appointment as getting a head start on the job he's hoping voters will elect him to do in November. We talked about his plans for the office. You had Democrats saying that this was an unfair appointment given the fact that the election is going to happen in November. What do you say to those folks?
I'd say that's just not true at all. This is what's best for Texas. This is what's best for the people. And I'm a champion of the taxpayer, and I'm going to prove that going forward. I'm operating this agency as if I'm going to be here for over 4 years, and that's what's important for the people of Texas. It's very important for whoever's in this position to have this kind of head start. And as you know, I'm not taking a paycheck. I'm not looking for a new job. I don't work for the government. I work for the people, and that's what's valuable.
I want you to talk to us a little bit about your vision for this office. I think that if you walked up to people on the street and you said, what does the comptroller do? They might not be able to tell you, but it is a key role in our state government. What's your vision? What do you want to do with this office?
I tell you, this office is, like I just said, it's so complex. We do so much over here. We have 3,000 employees, and we collect all the money, manage the money. We tell the legislature what they can spend, and we sign all the checks. And we're the procurement officer for so many, like 1,700 political subdivisions across the state. My goal is to make sure we're operating as efficiently as possible to do the core functions that the agency provides, and that's the audits and everything like that. But it's really more than that. I'm so focused on using this position constitutionally that it's really never been used. Most people haven't thought about it. I'm going to root out fraud and waste and abuse across the state of Texas. I want to use the agency to root out waste in every government that's using Texas taxpayer money. Local governments, that would include counties, cities, hospital districts. Let's look at the school districts. Let's look at where we can bring my teams in to find where we've got some waste. And if there's malfeasance in how it's being spent, we're going to arrest people. We're going to prosecute people for stealing. And City of Austin and Travis County are on my list. So are Dallas County, Harris County, excuse me, you name it. We're going to try to find fraud, waste, and abuse. And we're going to find inefficiencies, and we're going to make Texas much better than it's ever been.
Does that mean you intend to audit those agencies?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. 100%.
You're coming into office at a time that is very key for the state. You are going to be overseeing the rollout of the education savings accounts. Talk to us about how critical it is for the state to get this right this first time?
Well, they've already got it right. I'm stepping into the program that's already it's operating. It's extremely successful, and it was a massive undertaking. 85,000 accounts are set up, as I announced on Saturday now, and we think more will be set up as we go forward. And I think the thing to really focus on this is how many students are on the wait list, how thirsty Texans were to have freedom in their education system. And this is education freedom accounts. We have over 100,000 qualified students on the wait list, and that's going up every day. And right now, 1/4 of the students that have been funded are certified disability students, and 3/4 of the 85,000 are below the poverty line. But this is a very successful program, and and I'm very excited about it because you see, I'm focused, and as their entire Republican ticket is, we're all focused on making sure our government school systems are the best they can possibly be. And we think the number one solution to that, and we've thought about this for years, is competition. Competition lowers the price and increases the quality of everything it touches. It's going to do the same thing for our government schools. So we're all very excited. I'm personally very excited about it, and I hope the program gets a lot larger.
This is the first full week that Don Huffines has been on the job as the comptroller for the state of Texas. You had some strong thoughts about him being appointed to this position. Talk to us about your concerns there.
Sure. I mean, what a week it has been. You know, Abbott appointed the guy he wanted to win, and then Kelly Hancock lost. And now Abbott has appointed the guy he didn't want to win, and Huffines is going to lose. He's being elevated onto a platform where all of us can see him, and I think that that is going to work to his disadvantage.
Yeah, why do you think, or what do you think about his approach is going to make Texans say, this is not what we want?
Well, he keeps saying he wants to doge Texas, and I think that the voters are going to see that that really means dodge taxes. The people he's doging are the very watchdogs who are making sure that we're all paying our fair share. He's already said he wants to take auditors off of looking at corporate tax accounts. That means the rest of us are going to pay more because corporate Texans are not going to be paying their fair share.
You know, he also talks about wanting to audit cities and counties. He says Austin and Travis County are on the list. You were the commissioner, excuse me,
I was
the
a commissioner
judge.
and
You were a judge, yeah. All the things for Travis County. Does that raise concern, you think?
It does. I mean, I worked my way up through the county. I started out as a prosecutor, then was a commissioner, and then the county judge. And when I was county judge, we cut taxes 3 times, and I kept the average tax bill virtually flat for 5 years. This guy, far from wanting to get rid of waste, fraud, and abuse, he wants to turn the Office of the Comptroller's office into a retribution and propaganda machine. He doesn't have the authority to cut property taxes. He doesn't even have the authority to audit local governments. He wants to take retribution and build propaganda, much like Ken Paxton did in the AG's office. But Huffines, what he's going to do is going to make what Ken Paxton did with his retribution machine look like Bush League.
Talk to us about your vision then for the comptroller's office.
The comptroller's office needs to follow the law and follow the money. The comptroller's office truly is the watchdog for the taxpayer. It collects taxes fairly and makes sure that everyone pays their fair share. And it also reports back to the people of Texas and to the Texas legislature who is benefiting most, least, and not at all from the investments of the state of Texas. That's what the comptroller is for, to inform the people of where their money is going so that they can decide. And that's the important point. In a democracy, the voters decide. And with Abbott installing Hancock first and then Huffines second, he's stomping on the will of the voters.
You know, do you think there is a need, though, to look into all of the state agencies and maybe some local agencies to ensure that the money is being used how it should be used?
Absolutely. And so when I was the chief executive of Travis County, it wasn't uncommon to ask the divisions to propose a budget that was 1, 2, or even 3% below what their base budget was the year before. That's a way to find out where agencies' priorities are and where there can be restructuring for greater greater efficiency. But here's the deal in what Huffines is doing. Huffines is not looking at the $50 million Odyssey contract for vouchers. He's not looking at the $100 million no-bid contract for Elon Musk. He's not looking at the $3.2 billion in tax subsidy for data centers.
What do you think is the issue of this race between you and Comptroller Huffines?
I think, put really simply, I believe in democracy where we can build prosperity, and every Texan can build on that prosperity, and their kids can build on that prosperity. Don Huffines really believes in a privatized system. He calls public schools government schools, and he really wants to see a greater number of private schools subsidized so that if you're wealthy enough, you get education. But if you're not, you get merely training.
You still have plenty of time to register to vote in the November election. Those applications are due by October 5th. Early voting starts October 19th. That's Texas This Week.